Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Let's study a piece of Talmud together. The Talmud, in Masechta Gittin, the Talmud says, Kamtza and Bar Kamtza Charov Yerushalayim. Because of Kamtza, that's a person's name, and Bar Kamtza, another person's name, Jerusalem was destroyed. Well, during this period of time, we are living through a period where we're commemorating the destruction of Jerusalem almost 2,000 years ago. And here the Talmud is telling us why it happened. So it's clearly a very important piece of Talmud for us to learn and to understand and to seek lessons from. So the story goes like this. There were two people in Jerusalem at that time. One was named Kamtza, and the other was named Bar Kamtza. Yes, it's confusing. The names are very similar, but they were of no relation to each other, just two men living in Jerusalem. So the Talmud tells the following story. Dahu Gavra, there was a certain person. Now this man's name is not mentioned. So he's just a certain person. Derachme Kamtza ubaldavave Bar Kamtza. He was a friend of Kamtza, but he was an enemy of Bar Kamtza. So again, the unnamed person has a friend named Kamtza and an enemy that he does not like named Bar Kamtza. Avad Sudasa. One day this man, from now on we'll call him the host, he makes a party. And of course, to his party, he wants to invite all of his friends. Amalei L'Shamai, so he said to his assistant, Zil Aisi Li Kamtza, take an invitation to the party to my friend Kamtza. Because of course, he was inviting lots of people, and he invited the people that he liked, and he was friends with Kamtza. The host was friends with Kamtza. So he told the assistant, take the invitation to Kamtza, my friend. Azal Aisi Le Bar Kamtza. But the assistant made a mistake. Because of the similarity of the names, Kamtza and Bar Kamtza, by accident, the invitation arrived at the home of Bar Kamtza. Now, when the party started, and the host starts to see all of his guests there, first of all, he does not see his friend Kamtza, because remember, Kamtza didn't get an invitation, right? It was meant for Kamtza, but it went to Bar Kamtza. Asa ashkache Dahava Yosef. He sees that at his party, drinking his wine and eating his hors d'oeuvres, is Bar Kamtza, who he does not like. Amalei. So the host says to Bar Kamtza, the fellow he does not like, Michti, hahu gavra bal debave dahu gavrahu. This person is an enemy of that person. Meaning, this person, meaning me, I, am an enemy of that person, meaning you. He's saying, what in the world are you doing at my party? I don't like you. Ma bayis hacha. Why are you here? Kum puk. Get up and leave. I don't want you at my party. This is what the host is saying to Bar Kamtza. Now, I can only imagine Bar Kamtza was not thrilled to be there either, because he also did not like the host. I don't know what was going through his mind when he received this invitation. Maybe he thought that the host was maybe going to make up to him, maybe wanted to make it better. Okay, but whatever it is, he hears the host tell him, get out. Amalei, so Bar Kamtza says to him, listen, you don't like me, I don't like you. But hova soy shavkan, I'm here now. I'm in your house. I'm not going to bother you. Just let me stay and I'll leave. But just let me stay for a while. And if you do that, v'yihivnelach dmei madachilna ushsina, I'll pay you what I ate and drank. I had a glass of wine, I had some hors d'oeuvres. You don't have to pay for me. I'll pay my share. Amarle, the host said to him, Lo, no. I will not let you stay. I don't want you in my house. Leave right now. Well, the problem is, this would have been embarrassing. There are a lot of people around. There are people that are listening to this. It's embarrassing to get kicked out of somebody's house, especially when you yourself didn't do anything wrong. He came in the innocence of having received the invitation, Bar Kamtza. Amarle, Bar Kamtza said to the host, Yehivnelach demei palga sudasech. I'll pay for half of the whole party. Obviously, he was a wealthy man. I'll pay for half of the entire cost of this party. Just don't embarrass me in front of all these people. Probably the aristocrats of Jerusalem were there. Amarle, the host said to him, Lo. Amarle, Bar Kamtza said to the host, Yehivnelach demei kula sudasech. I'll pay for the whole thing. You will not have to pay 1 penny for the entire party. I'll take care of it. Just don't embarrass me in public. Amarle, the host said to him, Lo, no. Nakte biyade, the host grabbed hold of Bar Kamtza physically, v'ukme v'afke, he threw him out of his house, literally, physically threw him out of his house. Omar, so Bar Kamtza said to himself, after he had been treated so badly, Hoel v'havayasve rabbanim v'lo machule. There were a lot of rabbis at that party, and they all heard what was happening. And no one interceded to say, it's not right to embarrass somebody in public. Let them leave with dignity. Don't act this way of kicking someone out of your house. Not one of them said anything. Shma mina kanichalahu. Apparently, all these rabbis were okay with how this person was acting. Aizel echel b'hukurtza bemalka. So Bar Kamtza went to inform against the Jewish people to the Roman emperor. And he said to the Caesar, Mardu bak Yudoi, the Jews are planning a rebellion against you. You better come and destroy them. And that's what happened. Note that Bar Kamtza he was upset at the host, but his main anger and his reason for retribution is not just that there was one nasty host. It's that the elite of society of Jerusalem was there. The rabbinic elite of society was there. And they did not do anything. No one interjected. No one condemned. No one stepped in to say, what you're doing, host, is wrong. And with that, Bar Kamtza decided that this society was not worth saving. Now, clearly, when the Talmud says, because of this Jerusalem was destroyed, I don't think it means that because of this one incident. I think it means this kind of behavior, this kind of sinas chinam, needless hatred between one person and another, and not condemning wrong behavior. I think this is really the point of the story, that there were people who should have known better, who should have interceded and said, host, that's not the way to act. Please stop that. Let him stay. We want him to stay, and he'll leave on his own. But the fact that they were silent and seemingly agreed to this egregious behavior, that showed a rot within the society, within the leadership, the rabbinic society, a rot that this kind of behavior had unfortunately, tragically become prevalent. And because of that, the temple was destroyed. Now, I have share the story with you with the normal interpretation that usually we use for it. The host, who is not named, very interesting, the host is not named, and the host was a friend of Kamtza, but he did not like Bar Kamtza, and by accident, Bar Kamtza came to the party, and it was because of the mistake. And so when I read the words before, where the host addresses Bar Kamtza, again, the words are a little curious. Michti, dahu gavra, this person, debebava dahu gavra. This person is an enemy of that person, meaning this person, I'm speaking to you, Bar Kamtza, you're an enemy of me, that person. It's a little bit strange. Why does he refer to himself in the third person? He doesn't say, you are my enemy. You're an enemy of that person. We understand that person is himself. It's a little bit of a strange way for a person to speak, to say, you're an enemy of me, and use the third person. And why does the Talmud begin by saying that because of Kamtza and Bar Kamtza, Jerusalem was destroyed? It wasn't because of Kamtza or Bar Kamtza. It was because of the host. Kamtza and Bar Kamtza were just the inspiration for the argument. But the action that was terrible, that led to the destruction, was the action of the host. And we don't even know his name. His name is not mentioned. Okay, so there's a simple answer to that. And the simple answer is because it's because of the confusion over the names. It doesn't mean Kamtza and Bar Kamtza were responsible. It means because of the confusion over the names between Kamtza and Bar Kamtza, that's how this whole thing came up. Okay. But I want to share with you the insight of Rabbi Yochanan Zweig. And this is a really important point. And it's something that is so practical. There is a phenomenon that divides people, divides community, and it's something that it's ongoing. It's been the case for many, many years. It still applies. You may have experience with it. And that is when a person says, I have a friend, I have an enemy, I insist that my friends have nothing to do with my enemy. Even if the two people have nothing to do with each other, I insist, if you're going to be loyal to me, if I hate someone, you have to hate them, even if you have nothing to do with them. And this goes on all the time. It goes on among kids. It goes on among adults. It goes on among nations. If you want to be my friend, you have to also be the enemy of that person. Listen to what Rav Zweig says. He reads the Talmud completely different. The whole story is different. There was a dispute between Kamtza and Bar Kamtza. Kamtza and Bar Kamtza were enemies of each other. Kamtza was a friend of the host. The host knew that since he was friends with Kamtza, he had to be an enemy of Bar Kamtza. He didn't know Bar Kamtza. He had nothing to do with Bar Kamtza. But because Kamtza and Bar Kamtza were arguing, he knew, he had been told, that Kamtza said, listen, if you're going to be my friend, you have to be an enemy of Bar Kamtza. And that's why when Bar Kamtza shows up at the party, he says, Hahu Gavra, that person is fighting with that person. I mean, he's referring to the two of them, Kamtza and Bar Kamtza. And because you're fighting with Kamtza, I have to kick you out of my house. And no matter how much you want to help and make it better? No, that's what I have to do to maintain my friendship. To Kamtza, I have to kick you out. And when Bar Kamtza saw this is truly sinas chinam. Sinas chinam is needless hatred. But this is needless hatred where the two of us have nothing to do with each other. You have no reason to hate me. You have no reason to be upset with me. It's only because that I am in this argument with a third party and you are transferring that. You have a hatred for me. The host has a hatred for Bar Kamtza that has no basis other than the fact that Kamtza wants you to hate him. That's sinas chinam. That's needless hatred. There's no reason for that hatred. I will tell you that I have this kind of mishigas in my life. Maybe you have it in yours. It's very destructive. Someone who says to me, listen, if you're going to invite that person, if you're going to be friendly with that person, then I can't be friends with you. Even though the issue is not an issue of principle, even though the issue is only between the two of them. Where someone, because they're in an argument, they force others to join that argument, even though they have nothing to do with it. That is sinas chinam. That's needless hatred. I have seen how destructive it is in my life. And if you have experienced it, perhaps you see how destructive it is in yours. And so we need to work on ourselves. And this is a passage of the Talmud discussing the events of the destruction of Jerusalem. It's appropriate for us to study this, and it's appropriate for us to have to try to work on it. Even if we have an issue with someone, we have to try not to impose our upset on others, because that is truly sinas chinam, needless hatred. Friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.